Hello friends, this is Terry from Genkigamingtv, and we're here back with another Yokai Watch Y Academy, the return, well, close encounters with mankind. Today's episode, I started to work part-time at a convenience store, or konbini de baito hajimemashita. I want to start off by apologizing about this not being uploaded sooner. This is being uploaded now because I didn't know that Neo Kazemaru 1 from Dailymotion uploaded the video. I had checked yesterday at around 4 o'clock and it still wasn't uploaded. So yeah, I just am going to apologize for that, and we'll get into the review. This episode was okay. At first I thought it was going to be just a generic episode, but the plot actually kind of works for this. Basically, our YSP club, Junpei, Sandayu, and Motaro are walking through the Y-Mart, a convenience store, or a konbini, and basically what had happened was they all basically fought over a product. It looks like a little figure, or little figurine of some sort. Momo stole it, then Gorodomi stole it off of Momo, and then tossed it, and it somehow ended up going into Bakura's mouth, because that's simply how logic works in this universe. We just don't question it, and Bakura ends up being struck down by Junpei in order to get it, but by doing so they completely wreck the Y-Mart. Like, when I say wreck, I mean they do a lot of destruction. So the manager of the store, the guy with the brown hair, Kichikuroda, is furious. He basically forces the boys to work for him. Little did we all know that this is actually Junpei's career goal, to work at a Y-Mart for the rest of his Y life. And with that silly side note antonym, or antigen, out of the way, or reference, I just wanted to say that Motaro and Sandayu being forced into the same situation when Motaro really didn't even do anything except for reach for it. I mean, Sandayu kind of participated, but it was more just Junpei and Momo and Gorodomi, aka the Junpei triangle of chaos and destruction. So they work and they work because they have to pay off the debt of like damaged products and of the general destruction of the store. And then they keep getting weird customers, a gamer guy that's standing over by the magazines, a weird robber that wanted them to, if I got my translating right, he wanted them to basically give him change, or turn his change into money. And the gun he was using is just a generic squirt gun. So some of this episode was just kind of weird, or just not perfect. The lady with the tiger is interesting, but Junpei's reaction to the tiger is just a kid's show being a kid's show. I thought our maturity level increased since we actually transitioned from being OG to being Y Academy, but apparently I am much wronger than I have ever been, or more wrong than I have ever been. Our maturity level just jumped from the void, or from the cliff into a small void, or at least Junpei says. Thank God for Sandayu and Motaro kind of balancing this insanity out, or this silliness out. But I also want to point out that the flaming aura used for the manager Kichi Kurata is kind of, I won't say it's like the generic anime aura, but it's like a DBZ style aura to a certain degree. But that same aura, like stylization, has been used and has evolved through other anime series, especially when you're trying to reflect anger. But after Junpei acts a fool, they notice that even the convenience store manager has been acting a fool, singing and dancing. Turns out if it is a yokai, it is a yokai, because it was a yokai. Apparently the camera zapped him when he went up because he had noticed something and heard something that was not right with the camera. Fubuki comes and tries to use some sort of a screwdriver on it, but it shocked her. Then she got a drill. It shocked her again. Then she got a giant hammer, because of course Fubuki carries a giant hammer with her. What girl in this age would not carry a giant hammer that looks like the mochi pounding hammers or mallets, but a little bit bigger? And then, poof, it was a yokai. It was his grandfather this entire time, or his father. Let me double check. I think it was just his father. Yeah, it was his father. The only reason I just said grandfather is because I hesitated because of the age, because we're used to dealing with kids that are in school and not like people who are middle-aged, because wow, we finally have a middle-aged character that has not done anything weird. But the grandfather, Onizo Kuroda, or the father, I mean. I keep falling into the trend because I see gray hair, and I apologize for that. But Haruhiko doesn't like happy family moments, so he threw one of the little shadow things that he has. It's like a tendril or like a little snake or yokai onryo worm that infected Onizo and turning him into Buraku Oni Kemeda. Yes, that is the name. Wow, creativity just kind of just jumped. I mean, ironically, it's a lot better than them doing something weird or off kilter. So the YSP club is shrank down into tiny YSP club. But that's okay because they try to do stuff to stop the camera, but it doesn't work. Junpei escapes and then goes into the freezer for like the ice cream and the other icy chili snacks, or frozen snacks. So Fubuki and Motaro and Koma-san thaw Junpei out by throwing him into like the broth or the soup. So yeah, and then Junpei gets angry at them because he is hot. But that does not matter because they have a evil Buraku Oni camera to dispatch. There's a Indiana Jones reference as the YSP club runs from a can of, I think, imitation tuna. I mean, it doesn't say what it is on it, it just shows a picture of a fish. Then they pose with a comic book because they look like generic anime characters right there with the backsplash of the detective. That's totally not Detective Conan, but totally is a detective like series. They try to get Mira Raido's attention, but it doesn't work, and then Junpei gets attacked by the broth, or the soupy broth, but he eats his way out of, I don't know what that is. I can't remember the exact word for what he got trapped in, but Someone tell me what that is. I've seen it and I've heard the word of what it is, but I don't know exactly what it is in English. But Junpei goes Wild Boy. Wild Boy does nothing to Black Oni camera. But Motaro actually does something. Motaro comes up with a strategy that actually works, which is fantastic. I'm happy for Motaro because of that. Komasan pushes Solid Oil down after debating Black Oni camera into chasing him, and then Fubuki hammer bros, or hammer slams or smashes Black Oni camera while Little Commander goes inside and disconnects everything. Battle over. Father-son makeup time. Basically, the father says, you're free to do whatever you want to do. Go follow your dream of being a musician. But then a pretty girl shows up and she wants the job, and basically all of that character progression for Kichi Kurada just went down to crapper. Like, legitimately. They were building him up to, like, leave and sing. But then shot it. Why did you have to exist, random part-time girl? Why? I mean, they completely killed any character progression that they could do further with the guy, because we all know that he'll just backpedal. But then our lovely little friend who loves to eat yokai medals appears. You know who I'm talking about. Our friend Blue Pawn. Also, Blue Pawn is growing. Arms and legs now after eating medals. What exactly is Blue Pawn other than a slime? But I believe that Blue Pawn will become very useful later on. We've already seen Blue Pawn act as armor for Kingo Benimaru, like as like protective armor. So I think I'm okay with Blue Pawn eating medals. All in all, the episode is a very solid B. It wasn't bad, but there's elements from this writing-wise that just aren't... They're not bad, but they're not of a higher caliber that you would kind of expect from an episode this late in a series. And I say this late, and we're only on episode 18, so they still have a lot of room to grow. And like I'm saying, the episode itself is not bad whatsoever. It's just, it's kind of a mess. Like, they backpedal so much. Like, this episode, the premise of Junpei, Sandayu, and Motaro working at a convenience store basically shows that they'll do what they have to do if they make a mistake, and it also shows that Junpei can be kind of responsible, and then that responsibility is pooped on by the fact that Junpei growled at a tiger, then clenched his butt during the episode, and then tried to eat a yokai medal at the end. I mean, there's certain parts of this that are really, really solid and good. Like, the pacing of the episode, I felt like, has been the best pacing that they've, or some of the best pacing they've done for an episode. And, like, all of the animation is pretty solid. So, maybe a B+, that could be borderline an A. Maybe I'm just being overly judgmental, or overly judgy after the fact that we've not had an episode and now we have an episode. But yeah, that's it for the review. Please like, subscribe, and comment if that is something you do. Have an amazing day. I appreciate each and every one of you. Bye bye.